Well, the future of the Chicago Reader is in doubt. This as a dispute drags on between staff members and one of the paper's current owners, attorney Len Goodman. The paper had been on track to switch over to a non-profit model, but contention stemming from an op-ed column Goodman wrote on vaccines has held it up. Here's what a staff writer had to say at a recent protest.
If you don't transition into a nonprofit, our grant-funded racial justice reporting hub and writer's room will not happen, and I could possibly lose my job. Len, you are preventing us from welcoming a new generation of writers who are eager to offer fresh new perspectives, which contradicts your claims about censorship.
And joining us to discuss the future of the Reader and what's at stake is Bob Ryder, president of the Chicago Federation of Labor. He is a member of the Chicago Reader Institute for Community Journalism, non-for-profit board, and the Chicago Reader L3C for-profit board. And we should note we also invited Len Goodman to the conversation, but he did not respond to our request this evening. Bob, thank you for being with us. You know, Reader staffers have said that the paper is days away from running out of money. How long does it have?
Well, we're essentially on borrowed time right now, and thank God that the Reader is continuing to sell ads, and that there's people who support the Reader, and I know that it's sort of day by day, and we're hoping that we can bring this transition from for-profit to not-for-profit to fruition, and we can protect this Chicago institution of journalism on a going forward basis. And by the way, Paris, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. So the plan's been agreed to by the owners, Len Goodman and LZ Higginbottom, and the staff. So remind us why the holdup.
So everyone, I think, is in agreement that the Reader should be moving towards a not-for-profit model. I know that, Len has been supportive of this, generally for a very long time. I know that LZ has been in favor of this for a very long time. The issue is about other things in the ether. It's not about a question of whether this is the right financial model for the Reader. It's about how do we get to the transition? How do we get to closing? We were supposed to see this move happen at the end of December. Here we are. We're at the end of April. We need to make sure that we get this thing moving.
Is this all about that column? And as a reminder to our viewers, Goodman he wrote a column. He's one of the owners, wrote an op-ed column that was controversial, but apparently approved by editors. Or are there other things at play here?
Well, I don't want to speak for Leonard. I'm here, representing myself as a board member appointed by LZ Higginbottom, respected, Black business leader here in Chicago. But I will tell you from my perspective that Len's column was sort of the flashpoint for this change in positioning about how to get to the sale. I think that it's taken the column's role in this is becoming outsized in what the 50-some year history of the Reader is. And I know that Len and LZ both support community journalism, and I know from our side of the fence in terms of Len, LZ and myself, that we're eager to get to conclusion.
How could a nonprofit model keep the Reader going and keep the journalism going strong for the foreseeable future?
So, as we all know, Reader, beloved, Chicago institution. It's free. Used to come out every week, comes out every other week. The nature of how ad sales and marketing has changed in the digital age hasn't made the printed copy less relevant, but how people engage with advertising. A lot of relevant, advertising opportunities for the Reader, for people who who want to engage with print advertising. But, you know, it'd be silly to say that, like, you know, we're not competing for ad dollars in other spaces. And the Reader does a ton of digital advertising, but it's changed. So the way to make sure that a voice like the Reader that goes in the direction of controversial and provocative stories survives is by going to places that want to support community journalism, like foundations and other donors who want to support that mission. Because access to good information, fact-checked stories, columns that are written on firm foundations, that's important. And that's what the Reader is all about, and that's what not-for-profit donors are looking for.
And we only have about 15 seconds left, Bob, but do you anticipate going back to the table and getting this thing done, and what's it going to take?
Yeah, I mean, here's where we're at. Where people are still talking in the background, but the key to all this is let's not get distracted by what happened with this column, and let's not try to throw a bunch of extra stuff at the wall. It seems like we're fighting over who gets to have control of the not-for-profit board of the Reader. Let the not-for-profit board of the Reader control itself. It's a third party to all this. Len and Elsie just need to come to an agreement, which they have already had, about getting this thing transitioned. That's what it's all about, Paris.
And it's coming down to the details of who might control more seats on the board, getting into the minutia there. All right, Bob Reiter, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Paris.